Wonderful. For that, those important questions that you're raising, Mary, and looking at the whole system and the context in which this system is expected to function. I will take a few questions. Okay, Davi Buerta.
Hello, Jansie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Thank you for the two presentations that we've had. At ProSet, the committee, we decided that this subject matter is very, very important because at our professional level, we see a lack, in the first place, the previous speaker, we see a lack of willingness by industry to employ people to get vocational training after they've graduated. And I would like to appeal to everybody in the room, and I'm not sure who are here, to support the vocational training, if you like, for people who in the tertiary education sector needs it after they've graduated to actually achieve professional status. In engineering, you need a very strict pathway to be able to register as a professional engineer, and it will lead into Mary Metcalfe's speech as well. But we find, I think in general, that graduates battle to get that type of employment. And that was one of the main reasons why we decided on having this specific discussion forum. And so I'd appeal to participants to please assist in facilitating vocational training or training towards professional status. In terms of the second, Mary Metcalfe, I'm very pleased with how you express the needs in the specific in the educational sphere, and I sincerely have an empathy for teachers who need, let's say, refresher courses or to actually improve their skills, not having the means, if you like, to do courses, etc., etc. Now, I don't know what the situation is in terms of retaining their professional status as teachers, but in engineering, we have to resubmit every 3 years or so. We have to submit what we've done, and it's accredited courses that we have to do, as well as attending meetings, etc. There's a formula, and I'm not sure what in terms of teachers is being done. And one way would be to make it compulsory for teachers to actually follow these educational, furthering their education, and then enabling them to actually get the additional training that they need, because it's a fast-changing world. And this morning, just looking at the various presentations, I'm flabbergasted because I'm an engineer, but I'm 78, and the world has changed. But with those two contributions, an appeal for people to come forward with training possibilities, if you like, and the other one is to appeal to the various authorities to assist teachers to do their educational or their training on educational after becoming teachers. That is an appeal from myself as chair from ProSet. Thanks, Jansie.
Thank you very much, Davi. Mary, would you like to respond to that?
I absolutely want to thank Davi for reinforcing the need for teachers to get professional development, because what we have is many teachers who are not necessarily, haven't necessarily had the opportunity to get the professional development that equips them to teach, particularly in STEM. And that includes both the pedagogical content knowledge and the content knowledge. So they may not necessarily always have a good understanding of the concepts, and certainly don't always have an understanding of the complex pedagogical challenges. So the best way that that can be supported is through the system with continuing professional teacher development, through the work of the subject advisors, but the subject advisors themselves often need to receive the support. The other way in which teachers can access that understanding is through professional associations. So, for example, in AMISA, that is an association which supports maths content knowledge. And so if we can encourage our teachers to get their professional development points through participation in the Maths Association of Teachers, then it would be another way of opening the support that we need. Thank you, Yancy. And thank you very much, Davi.
Thank you, Mary. P. Mashalaba, you've got your hand up. Would you like to say something?
No, thanks, Prof. I'm covered at the moment because I think the speaker before the latter one covered me on some of the other things that I thought I would be saying.
Okay,
so
thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Tandiwe.
Thank you, Program Director. Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much from Mr. Totesi for a mouthful and informative presentation. And I was so delighted to know that other TVET colleges are rendering so much advanced training to the students. I have noticed that in his presentation, he touched base on agriculture as well. And the serious concern about other TVET colleges who are rendering training on agriculture, where the students come up with a qualification called farm management. I don't know whether it's a diploma or a certificate, but it's a farm management qualification, which is not aligned to the requirements, to the current requirements for employment, especially with the government departments. The government departments are now requiring the students to have an NQF level 8. And we are facing a challenge with those students who are coming from the TVET colleges with that farm management diploma. They are not employable. But as a Department of Agriculture, we've tried to put them into the unemployment graduate program where they receive a 2-year exposure to farms. They are placed in, they are being placed on the farms so that they can get experience. And I want to ask how can they assist the colleges to be in a position to produce a product that meets the current requirements for employment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tandiwe. Let me take Hinsa's question as well. Hinsa Mhlani, you had a few questions in the chat. Would you like to speak?
Well, thank you, Chair. I will leave the other questions because they are more related to TVET colleges. I've got an interest in the TVET college sector, and perhaps I will get the gentleman from Maludi who presented, and we can have a chat side of this. But my question is directed to Professor Metcalfe, and I am taking advantage of the fact that she's been in both school education and higher education. And I just want to ask from her whether the splitting of the Department of Education as it was to higher education and training and basic education was it based on educational prescripts, or was it political?
Putting you on the spot there, Mary.
Okay. So
Would you
Okay,
like to
so
respond?
thank you, Hinsa, for that question. If you want me to reply now, I'm very happy to. So obviously that decision was taken by the president in 2014, okay? 1994, 2014. Yeah, I'm right. No, 2014, 5 years before 1999. So I would say, and this is not necessarily gospel truth, that what it was driven by was the necessity of integrating education and training. So the major shifts that took place when DHET was formed was the move of the training component from the Department of Labor. And the importance of that for both TVET, community college, and universities has been one of enormous benefit, I think, because the post-school education and training system does need to align training to opportunities in the labor market, proper planning, etc. So I would say that there is a logical basis. One of the things that now, for me, again, this is just Mary speaking, emerges is, I think, in the FET space. And what I mean by the FET space is I'm talking about FET as part of the SAQA understanding of FET, is that what we have now, I think, is almost too much duplication. So, for example, and there's people here from TVET colleges, we have learners going through 12 years of basic education, maybe achieving a national senior certificate, and then returning into the FET space at TVET colleges. So they are getting another qualification at the same level. We also see DBE talking about introducing a 3-stream model. Now, 3-stream model in the DBE's term introduces more vocational, occupational subjects. And the detail of that and the requirements of that replicate for me what should be happening in TVET and community colleges. So one of the urgencies is, I think, to start making sure there's proper alignment across DBE and DHET for that component of FET, either as grade 10 to 12 in public ordinary schools, as well as alignment with TVET and the neglected community college component. So thank you, Hinsa. Good question.
Thank you very much, Mary, for that answer, and Hinsa for that question. Saeed Mohammed.
Thank you. I am, as introduced, my name is Saeed Mohammed. I am in the training the youth through enterprise creation. So firstly, I want to thank all the wonderful presenters for their insightful and inspiring presentations. It was really amazing, and I'm glad I was there. So my question will be towards the unemployment of the youth, especially the graduates of either the TVET college or community colleges. How about if we introduce a way those who fail to get a formal employment, how about introducing them a way that they can commercialize their careers? You understand? And then introducing this entrepreneurial mindset. If one fails to get a formal employment, then he or she can commercialize their career and do a wonderful service back to the community and to the country. That is my question or my input. But I truly appreciate being a part of this program. And I wonder if you guys, the organizers, which I want to also thank, if they can share all these presentations. They have our emails. That's also, I think, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sahid. Indeed, I agree with you. And I think that was more of a comment than a question. That is certainly important. The presentations will be on the NSTF website, nstf.org.za. So as soon as this discussion forum is finished, they will be loaded on the website. Some of them might be there already. I'm going to move on to the next question to make sure we cover as much as possible, and note previous speakers, you can answer questions in the Q&A chat by writing. You can give written answers. Marissa Rolnick?
Hi, Mary. I don't want to say thanks for a very interesting presentation because it's terrifying what you said in terms of the lack of funding. And I have heard in the news things like retrenchment of teachers and no more money for posts and so on. But I just wondered if we're not then going into emergency mode again. If 3% of teachers are getting in-service training, then what I would wonder is if we can use the model that's used, for example, in the medical profession, and where they require teachers to do, they require their people to do a certain amount of CPE, that some kind of online, and I don't mean like online in the sense of registering for a course online and so on, but they have weekly almost seminars and things which are online, usually in the evening, which people sign on to, and maybe one could add some kind of an assessment at the end of it, so that people can at least start to go for things that can make a difference to their teaching and even turn into discussions. And this wouldn't be so expensive because it would just mean the teachers do need some sort of connection. And again, we get back to the question of connections. But the fact that nothing is happening, and I've run some courses for teachers, and I do find that they are so hungry for those kind of activities that I don't know how we can go on like this. In the US, they say if teachers don't get 100 hours of teaching a year, then CPD is often not even effective.
Very interesting. Would you like to respond, Mary?
I would love to, and then I have to run because I've got a 2:00. Marissa, it's lovely to see you again. Number one, what I loved about your question and comment is it's solution orientated. And that's why I apologized when I started, because my intention was not to depress, but to say, use the best brains in the room to help find solutions. And you're definitely one of the best brains around. So let me first of all just correct, because I spoke very quickly and I didn't put it on screen. So the South African Council of Education does follow what you call the medical model, and it does require that teachers meet a minimum of 30 professional points a year. What I'm saying is that from the SACE reports, it's a small minority of teachers that are achieving that. If you look at the DBE's school monitoring survey, which they do every 4 years or 5 years or 3 years, that says that 46% of teachers report meeting 40 hours of professional development, which includes what's provided by the department, their own study, participation in professional activities, participation in PLCs, professional learning communities. So that just to clarify there. Thirdly, you in part of your solution, you're saying online, but to be a bit depressing again, so a lot of the CPDD system doesn't work because it makes assumptions about teachers' access to connectivity for CPDD, which access currently exacerbates rather than reduces inequality. So thank you for being positive. Thank you for thinking of solutions. But everyone who cares about STEM needs to be saying, how can we use the best resources and brains that we have to reach more teachers? And for you, let's just say STEM. How do we, within the system, improve performance, to better support teachers. And maybe not everyone is able to work at that systemic policy level, but how can I, where I work, have the best influence in terms of supporting teachers, even if we are retired, Marissa? Thank you, Nancy.
I think she already does quite a bit of that. But thank you,
Thank
Mary.
you very much. I just feel like when I hear that kind of thing, I want to go out and do something.
Good. That's a good note on me to leave. But thank you.
Indeed.
All
Thank
right.
you very much, Mary Metcalfe, for your advice and inspiration and pouring some cold water on our enthusiasm today. Thank you very much indeed.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.